So, we're going to get started. Next, are you up next, Denise? Up next is Denise Pounds.
Hello. I too would like to thank the committee on this. You have done a great job. It's so professionally done. And like Jason, you're going to realize why I cook instead of speak. So forgive me, but it won't go more than 6 minutes and 40 seconds, I promise. Okay, about 15 years ago, I started a new hobby. I took my family's favorite soup to the fair and entered it in the Mr. Dell's contest and won second place. This was the beginning of a hobby, or obsession, or addiction. While I was doing my contesting, I've met the greatest people. That's probably one of the biggest advantages of doing the contest. We've met people in the grocery store getting ready for the fair. We help each other in the kitchen cooking. We share ingredients. We help the children, the other kids do their things. So it's really not a competition. It's friendship. Started branching out into other contests. I went to the store and picked up the Pillsbury Bake Off cookbook at the end of the aisle, and started practicing there. I think it was really more of an excuse to work in my kitchen and make my friends eat my food. So I got the call that I was a finalist, and I was floored. It was unbelievable. I never thought that the average cook would actually make this, that real people were actually competing in the Pillsbury contest. This, after all, is like the Olympics for the amateur baking world. And this is how it started. In 1949, the war was over, troops were returning home. Women were leaving their war jobs and going back into the kitchen and cooking. Sugar rations were over, and Mr. Pillsbury wanted to honor the cooks that were cooking at home. So he ended up starting a contest. Took 100 finalists to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. Treated them like royalty, served breakfast in bed, gourmet meals, and an opportunity to meet Eleanor Roosevelt and Art Linkletter. Mrs. Ralph E. Smallville won the $50,000 grand prize. This was the Grand National Recipe and Baking Contest at that time. And an interesting note, in the earlier books, cookbooks, the women were always known as their husband's name. But a tradition was started, and the contest has evolved into the Pillsbury Bake Off now, with a grand prize of $1 million. What could you do with $1 million? Let's dream. If Uncle Sam didn't take his share, we could get 2 Lamborghinis, a very own yacht, a trip around the world 40 times, or 429,185 tubes of Pillsbury crescent rolls. So this is the contest that I was called to compete in. I went to Orlando, Florida, was treated like royalty, baked my heart out, and to prepare the dish for the judges. They provided ingredients, a stove, and a mini kitchen. But before the recipe was chosen, it had to go through a lot of process. Out of tens of thousands of recipes, they were analyzed by home economists, researched in cookbooks for originality, cooked many times, tasted, judged, and photographed, until 100 finalists were chosen from all over the country. We were brought together as one unit, developing friendships. We shared a common passion, given the same opportunity to wow the judges. We became friends, not fierce competitors. The preparation is overwhelming. Just for baking day alone, they had to rent a huge ballroom, install enough power to run 100 new GE 220 watt ranges, set the stage, install 100 mini kitchens, set up 24/7 security, shop for 100 recipes 3 times, wash and prep food. In all the 46 contests, there are only a few factors that have stayed consistent. 100 finalists. They all come together before the judges to cook. The judges are always sequestered. And the Grand March. This year, our Grand March was ushered in by a professional kitchen band. There's always celebrity hosts as well and guests. They've included Oprah, Martha Stewart, Padma Lakshmi, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, Ronald Reagan, Pat Nixon, Eleanor Roosevelt, and of course the Doughboy. The judges did not select my multi-grain cheese crostini as a winner, but it had the event of a lifetime, or so I thought. I got to try again when my recipe chicken lettuce wraps was selected for the 46th bake-off in Las Vegas. So I took my favorite taster and my Bible. He's had to endure some really strange meals and trials. And he offers great advice and never complains about how much I spend at the grocery store. I think I'll keep him. So the final moment came. We actually got to sit in the front row in the very middle. And it was awe-inspiring to know that there were 99 other people in that room that felt the same way I did, hoping to win $1 million. But we were all cheering on our friends. The judges did not select my dish. It's always important, we always want to win the $1 million, but these recipes have become icons, and they were all developed at the Pillsbury Bake Off, and we all want to have our own icon recipe. You might recognize a French silk pie, the tunnel of fudge cake, and the peanut blossoms that did not win anything, but are featured in every church cookbook. And have probably come to every cookie exchange, but did not win a cent at the bake-off. Although I didn't win the bigger prizes, 2 of my recipes are in Pillsbury Bake-Off history and are in cookbooks that are being cooked throughout the nation. And our kitchen band that led us in the morning for the bake-off revealed to us that the next bake-off is in Nashville in 2014. And my test kitchen is open. So I just want to point out I'm just still rolling in the dough. I'm not rolling in the dough.